So I guess you're wondering, how did I get here? I'm going to explain it as quickly as I possibly can, because I don't want to explain it multiple times. Let's go! Okay, as quickly as I can describe this, I will. Here you go. This is NCAA 14. I love college football games, which is why I'm going to have two series that concern college football games. That is not the point. It is kind of the point. Anyway, follow me. A long time ago, playing NCAA 11, I believe, I created a team. I created this team, Alaska Fairbanks. And as a matter of fact, on the website, the team builder, other people could download your teams and stuff like that. And this one actually got plenty of downloads. I was very pleased. I took some liberties with jerseys and stuff like that, but I created this because I wanted to play with my friends. They each created a team on Team Builder as well. You know, when video games were still fun, and you could still do things like that. Anyway, I love the idea of creating teams, putting them in the NCAA, and just seeing how they do. Almost simming by myself, just to see how Alaska Fairbanks would do. Now, this created an addiction where I needed to create a bunch of teams. I needed to create many. But here's the thing, I didn't get that urge until many years later. Fast forward all the way to, I don't know, 2017, 2018, around that time. I think the Team Builder site was still up, and I went ham. I created a bunch of Alaska teams and a bunch of fictitious Hawaii teams, and I made myself a big lump of teams to choose from to be able to import and play with on NCAA 14. Now, I created more than this. I created probably 50 or 60 schools. It's a real thing. I won't elaborate on it now. But anyway, the important thing is the 10 that I'm going to show you. In this, I have 10 different coaches, 10 different schools, all being controlled by me. Here's the goal. The goal is for all these coaches to keep their jobs over a 60-year span. 60 in-game years. All these coaches keep their jobs, and all of them go the distance. That's the goal. In this, I want to see which one of these schools is the best and which is the worst. These schools are being divided into two conferences. The Alaska schools are being placed in the Mountain West Conference. Most of the Mountain West has been displaced and is now in the Independence. It's fine, it's okay, they'll be fine. The Sun Belt was used as a sacrificial lamb to put all the Hawaii teams in it. And when I say all the Hawaii teams, 4 of them will be controlled by me. One that I created will not be controlled by me. It's Chaminade, a religious school that I don't want any part of, and I hope that they have a terrible time. And the Warriors of Hawaii also get to join this conference. So you have 2 6-team conferences. There are some super conferences out there, however. I made the Big Ten 16 teams. I went ahead and just did it. UCLA and USC are in the West Division of the Big Ten. That's just how it's going to be. If this whole thing changes while I'm doing the series, which will take me a very long time, I'll adjust and I'll move teams where they need to be. The SEC has Texas and it has Oklahoma. I will correct where they're positioned as I see them when they join that conference. Other schools, like Cincinnati and the like, I've joined the Big 12 for reasons. I don't think I took a lot of liberties with moving teams around. I think I tried to make it pretty normal, and then there are a lot of teams that are just, you know, Boise State's just unfortunately going to be in the Independence. You don't have a Navy or Army game. I'm sorry, you know, sluts for America. You don't get to see them, but you could watch and root for Air Force, and I think that you should do that and shut your mouths. You'll get to know it over time, and if you watch a series, you'll catch it. Or you can just pick one of these teams as your favorite and root them for a whole lifetime of football games, which is what I'm going to do. Okay, now we're going to get quickly into the introductions, and I might elaborate more later in other videos, but most of these videos are going to be strictly gameplay. They're going to be computer simulations, and it's going to be purely for drama's sake. With a little minimal editing, but it's kind of because the little kid in me, which has always existed, really wants to complete this and really wants to do this game experiment and put it on my channel. So I'm going to do it, and I don't care who knows it. So starting I have names and legitimate names for all of these teams. I'm pretty proud of all the ones I chose. My team, and the one that I'm rooting for the most but will not give preferential treatment to, I will let them be the best they can be on their own. Alaska Fairbanks. The Nanooks, love them. Love the color scheme, love the logo, love it. I love them so much. I'll be rooting for them hard. They are my team. If they're your team, put it in the comments. Well, I'd love to have a fan base going. The number 2 team and their rival, here's the key. All of these teams have one main rival. So, the main rival to me and the Alaska Fairbanks Nanooks are the Alaska Anchorage Seawolves. This is the foil to my team. This team is coached by my dog. I love my dog, and he gets his own team. We get to butt heads every year. Last game in the season, boom, big battle, big battle. Also, something I didn't mention, I tried to make all of these teams have a distinct play style. Now, it got kind of tedious at the end. All the Alaska schools have their own playbooks that I crafted myself. All of the Hawaii schools have different playbooks and were generated, the style that they play was generated through dice rolling. So, all these teams have a personality, and I'm pretty pleased with it. They might shift over the years, but I'd like to keep them as cohesive as possible, and I'd like them to win with the styles that they have and run with it. I'd like to do as little editing as possible, but that's going to be inevitable. Anyway, for instance, my team, Alaska Fairbanks, they are a run-heavy team, and they are very heavy on the option. So you'll see a lot of flex bone, you'll see a lot of speed options out of the shotgun, a lot of 2-back sets out of the shotgun, a lot of little bit of passing, but what they want to do is they want to run with fullbacks, quarterbacks, running backs. They want to wear you the fuck down, but they do it in a hurry-up offense because that's how I play. My dog, however, he doesn't give one hell about what you think about running the ball. His playbook is 100% passes, and 100% passes from the shotgun. That is all he does, but he does it in a conservative way, meaning his clock management, conservative. But, lots of deep passes are available to him, but he's slinging the ball 60, 70 times a game. That's what he does. Big rivalry, though. These two are, in my opinion, the money rivalry of this whole thing. I love this one. In real life, these two schools, wonderful. Anyway, now let's go on to the next Alaskan rivalry. The next one I'll show you is here. You'll notice that some of these logos now are going to be a bit weird. This is the alternative press logo used for Alaska Pacific, a school I made up. Baby blue, they're the Yeti, by the way. Yeti. And this is where I get to introduce how I got most of my names. If you watch the Oregon State NCAA 06 series I took legends from my first 7 seasons of Oregon State football and made them coaches near. Robert Royal was my first wide receiver and only wide receiver to win the Heisman Trophy, and he won it year 1, I think. He got a lot of yards, and we were not a good team. Robert Royal still plays for the Lions in my game, but he is the coach for this team. They run kind of a West Coast offense, little pistol, a little here and there, short passes a lot of the time. They like to run as well. They're sneaky with the quarterback keeping runs out of this shotgun and such. Sneaky. But they're pretty good. But Robert Royal has that team humming. Now, his rival and their rival, the Seals of Wayland. I think Wayland's an actual school up there. I think it's a religious school, but I secularized it and I'm making it my own. They got a nice purple with lime green colors. Wonderful combo. Anyway, Jeff Thomas, record holder for many Beaver records and NCAA records. He likes a pistol offense, pure pistol offense. Almost, I think every playbook, everything in the playbook's pistol. A lot of running, a lot of single back running, but yeah, passing in there too. Main rival of Alaska Pacific. I like the color scheme of this matchup. The next one. My number one quarterback, my dude. The guy who went out beating Ohio State in the national title game. Adam SUSSMAN. My quarterback. Forever my quarterback. Adam SUSSMAN is a coach of the University of Northern Alaska. It should be like Northern Alaska University. Shut your mouth. I don't care. That's a custom logo. Eat my butt. They're the Healers, by the way. I happen to have a Healer. I'm partial to the breed. They're the Healers. I root for them secretively. Anyway, Adam SUSSMAN runs a very Oregon-esque offense. Wide open, super spread, lots and lots of people in the backfield all the time. Tight ends, fullbacks, running backs, lots and lots and lots of misdirection. So very free balling Oregon-ish type play, if you know what I mean. The main rival to them in the final Alaskan school, Alaska Southeast. They're the Whales, and it's great. They run a super pro offense, like the most pro offense that a pro offense could be pro. Single back, plenty of single backs, fullback utilizations, lots of bunch formations, a lot of I formation. And when I say pro, I don't mean like modern pro, I mean what like people in 2000 thought pro offenses were. Super tight, power football, super power. And they're led by Alex McCarty, probably the best linebacker that I had at Oregon State, and may ever have at Oregon State. Alex McCarty, a Lion currently, I believe, likes tough defense, likes tougher offense. So he runs this ship, and I wish him well, but this team, I have this thing where I kind of root against them, because when I've done simulations in the past, this team, oof, they break my heart a lot with Alaska Fairbanks. They're like a secondary rival, and it makes me uncomfortable. Okay, the main rivalry, the one that I find to be the most intense in Hawaii, but between all these coaches, Sam Parquet. Sam Parquet. I will never know how to say his last name, and I apologize, Sam. You and your digital self, your digital family. Believe me, I'm sorry. Anyway, really good running back, won a Heisman Trophy at Oregon State, one of the best recruits that I acquired at all, ever. He started off super high, and he won the running back job at a running back school and did running back things and did wonderful stuff. He head of the Shepherds at Hawaii A&M. Neat color scheme, but that's not black, sir. That's really dark green with a light blue. Oh, beautiful. Love that shit. Anyway, I'm trying to think of what their offense is. I don't even know what it is. You'll just have to watch. His main rival is Danny Carter, probably the best quarterback that never played starting minutes for the Oregon State Healers, and I feel bad. Danny's a nice guy. Danny was just as good as Adam SUSSMAN, but he was recruited in the best quarterback class in the history of college football with Danny Carter, Adam SUSSMAN, and another dude who I forgot his name. I'm sorry to that dude. He probably is like a contractor somewhere. It doesn't matter. Danny Carter, he has more of a passing offense, but Hawaii West Oahu is a they're the Owls, by the way. I don't know if you knew this. They're the main rivals of Hawaii A&M, and that's the Hawaii game that I look forward to every damn year. We then got John Massey, a guy that you won't hear much about in the Oregon State lore, but he was the very first quarterback that I had in my very first year. Before Adam SUSSMAN came and made my job way easier, John Massey threw bombs to Robert Royal. So he's a little passer there at Hawaii Pacific. They're the Sharks, by the way, so that's cool. But lots of blues there, little blacks, little silvers in their colors. It's kind of a fun thing. Their main rivals are, I don't remember, are they the Hurricane? I don't even remember. Anyway, that is my girlfriend's dog. So, if that team ever plays Alaska Anchorage, it'll be a dogfight. Please don't report me. Okay, guys, I know what you're thinking. How the hell are all these people going to keep their jobs in a purely simulation thing? Well, they're all in conferences, and they only have 5 conference games, meaning there are 7 non-conference games they get to play to even out their 12-team schedule. What you do is each team gets to pick a bunch of ranked teams, and then you kind of rig every single game before you get to the conference schedule. Case in point. Well, I mean, it's kind of like, it's just super enjoyable to see Michigan State lose, so they get scheduled a lot. They won't be good for a while, you can bet on that. Notre Dame's fun to watch lose. Auburn, they were ranked pretty highly going into the season, but we did stuff to them, all 10 of us. Penn State did a lot of losing. They've done well in the Big Ten, good for them. Wisconsin's done a bit of losing. They're still number 25 and they're 2-4. So you're gonna see all of these created teams have rankings next to them almost exclusively. This is because we beat the snot out of other teams to get these rankings. Now what that does is it gets better recruits, it weakens the rest of the NCAA, and it makes these 10 schools the blue bloods of the whole run. That is the idea. All the records will be broken by them, all of the biggest games will be played by them, and that is kind of my angle. That's the big angle for us. Alabama's going to be a kicking stone, and they will be an afterthought in a bit. You just watch. There are teams that I don't touch. There are teams I don't like to play. I don't play Michigan. We also don't play Oregon State. We let Oregon State beat. We beat the shit out of Oregon. That's fine. That's totally fine. But as you see, after beating those schools, we go down Alaska Pacific, Wayland, Northern Alaska, Alaska Southeast, Alaska Anchorage for the final game of the season, the rivalry game. This is how it works. And so national championships will be determined by mostly, a lot of the time, Hawaii versus Alaska, and that's going to be fun. I love the idea of that. But that's how we do it here on this little game experiment as I try to break NCAA 14 a little bit, or just make it really entertaining for myself. And this is the whole goal, everybody. So yeah, as you see it, you're going to end up seeing these schools have preseason rankings. They're going to do well in recruiting. By the way, I'm not touching their recruiting. I'm letting the computer recruit full, hard stop, all computer recruiting, so these teams will grow as much as they can on their own with the little help that we give them. And then beating each other up might be to their detriment, or it could be to all of their success. So you'll see all these teams are ranked, and we're on the very first week. I am recording this the very first week. We have, Alaska Fairbanks isn't playing anybody, but as an example, maybe the first game you're going to get to see is this. Who knows? But they start out with a rivalry game. Naughty. The first week, a rivalry game? You don't say. Or we could just start with Alaska. I'm partial to Alaska, so you know what? Screw it. This is going to be the starter. This will be the starter. This will be the first game that we show. It's going to be Wayland versus, at Northern Alaska, and it should be good. Anyway, one more tidbit, and if you have any questions, put them in the comments if you watch this. It's cool, it's fine. I'll try to elaborate more. But the skill trees, I wanted to give these guys as many points as possible, and they're going to get it really fast also. I wanted to help them out with recruiting so bad. So, that's what I do. We started with max points, and we have it on. I want them to be the top level coaches as fast as they can get there. And that's it. I went as fast as I can with all this. I'll try to give a preseason and a postseason video to set the scene for each season, which I'm not doing this year. Deal with it. It'll happen here too. And then the postseason one, where leading up to the bowl games, I will show awards and I'll get super in depth on every single event that happens everywhere. That's important to me. So that's all I got. I got this out as quickly as I could, and I can't wait to just record games mindlessly while I play with myself. I'll be playing Magic by myself on this table. What did you think?